Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah. And welcome back to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
Welcome.
We are to our second part of the evening's video, which will be our spooky season. I chose Oculus, but before that, we are going to discuss a little short film we watched. I don't know if you guys want to...
Yeah, I'll bring us in real quick. We've been conversing with Charlie McWade. McWade, got that right. And he kind of, it's on his Instagram, bio, but he has a short 9-minute horror movie that he let us know about called Woo.
And who is, so for the audience, who's Charlie?
So those of the audience that watched episode 104 Road Trip will know that Charlie McWade was one of the characters in the wrestler in that scene that we kind of discussed a couple different times there. But,
he's fantastic.
Again, we were praising the scene, absolutely. But Bobby is our kind of social media guy here.
I'm trying.
And, Charlie just like kind of was responding back and just talking about all these things that was like very interesting stuff, like coming down to the
even the casting of him.
Well, tidbits about the movie Road Trip, which is very fascinating. Also like kind of the projects that he was working on now, and a lot of different avenues of kind of like things that I think I enjoy hearing about Hollywood in general, like how as general as that can be, but like just background stuff. Like you don't hear these stories of like, oh, and then this happened or whatever.
Right.
He had worked on with his partner,
Darcy, his wife. They put together a sitcom, I believe, is in 2022 called Little Demon. And he did a lot of voiceover work.
Danny DeVito was in that as well.
Danny DeVito. So it like. I thought it had quite a bit of promise, and he responded back to us. That was kind of right around the layoffs and that whole thing with the writers. So Disney shelved it, but it had I think a good premiere in terms of a first season.
I don't know. He might be able to provide some additional context on why it did not go. But also in general, man, like again, having somebody who is very, very coolly like. We're promoting his stuff as best as we possibly can. But he's like, "Hey man, just send some and we can get this."
Yeah, we appreciate you.
I was like, "This is pretty
Charlie
dope."
McWade is cool
really
shit,
cool.
man.
But yeah, I mean, I like that it worked in also very well with like we're also doing the spooky season, Halloween kind of things. And his short is a horror short. It's called Wee Woo. It's WEEEWOOO.
Yep.
I'll just read the little IMDb thing. A young woman wakes up in the dead of night to a world devoid of sound. Yet through the silence, she hears a mysterious call which draws her deep into the dark woods. It's about 9 minutes from 2021, so a couple of years ago. But I guess just maybe I can get your guys' initial thoughts on short films in general, because I think that it's a very specific lane of Hollywood and directing. So, Ryan, why don't you start with that?
Well, the tie-in with the movie Oculus was a short film originally, and they made it into a feature.
I did not know that.
So, it was just the guy in the room with the mirror.
Okay.
And they expounded off that. So,
what year do you know, or just generalize?
Oculus came out in 2013. I think it was from 2006, I want to say, the short film was.
Okay.
Mike Flanagan made it. But back to Charlie's thing. Can we talk about my thoughts on it? Or?
Well, can I just get your initial thoughts on short films? Because we haven't really discussed short films.
I don't watch a lot of them, but I think it's a cool, like his was cool. It was a cool concept. And like, I definitely think it's like a good jumping off point for a feature or a show or something. Like it's an idea and it's kind of like Like, I don't know what, again, I have no idea. I haven't talked to him. Like, you guys have, like, I don't know if this is, like, supposed to be, like, hopefully a jumping off point for something else or
Well,
something.
honestly, hopefully after
I could see that being, like, someone being like, oh, this is a good idea. Let's expand upon it. Let's make it an hour and a half feature film or something.
Yeah, hopefully after
miniseries,
this podcast, honestly, we might go back to Charlie and gonna get a little bit
his
direct
take.
behind the director's, lens.
I don't have a lot of experience with short films or anything.
But that's a good question,
I
though.
think they're cool though, and like I said, I don't know if most people make them for that reason. If he did specifically as well, like, hey, this is a concept.
I think it's a creative outlet
this is
too,
the
to some
concept I
extent.
have, and this like I want to show this to like a studio or a producer or something, maybe to get them to fund a bigger project.
Okay.
But
yeah.
like,
Well, honestly, I think that's a good question to ask. Is like, what were you expecting kind of out of the film?
or if it's for like a film festival maybe or
Could
something.
be, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure. Like again, I didn't have the background, but
So yeah, we'll definitely do a little bit of deep dive into some of these other questions that we pull up. But I guess my take on short films is that the length of them is kind of that perfect introduction into this. Like, this is what I think his little short film was. Not little, but small, short in time.
Yes.
That film did well is that it gave me enough to kind of, I think where your brain is going is like, what's the next step? Is this supposed to get into something else? I think anything, you want more. Like, I was like, okay, what is the next thing? Because as, again, we'll just kind of do a spoiler of this. The short film ends with the titular character, Amira, basically with her friend in this cabin in the woods, and you have many, many bodies and figures surrounding them now. And again, she is devoid of sound. She'd lost her hearing. So again, like, I was like, at that point, I'm like, holy shit, what is the next thing? Like, so this is why I love short films. I just simply haven't watched a whole lot of them. It's not something that I continually go to, but honestly, from this, I might start doing that to see, like, especially as Ryan's saying, oh, this Oculus turned into this. Maybe I'll go watch the Oculus one and see what the hell did it have similarities? Does it have connections? Bobby, what you got on that?
So I kind of even spoke to Charlie on this, and I really would recommend for both of you guys on Netflix. There is a horror. It uses a bunch of these mini episodes or short films to kind of fill out their 30-minute frame. So call it like 3 or 4 short films, but it's called Love, Death, and Robots. If you ever get a chance, hop on Netflix. It's there, and I think it'd at least give you, it open you up, especially because most of them are horror short films. Some of them aren't, but it really gives you different taste on different styles, different types of. Some of them are animated, some of them aren't, and if they're animated, using different styles towards it. So I really thought this is a really fun concept. I thought it was. I mean, I got that jump scare spook right around that 6 and 7.5 minute mark. And I really liked the follow through shot or the follow shot in when they're in the woods. So
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked really good.
I thought it was really well done.
Well cinematographer or whatever. Shot and angles and the camera and the way the production looked. It looked very professional, very good.
Foreboding.
And
was,
also, kind of some of the ideas of it reminded me of another, again, Mike Flanagan movie, Hush. He made where it's a deaf mute woman's in a house and a guy's coming to like break in, and she doesn't know that he's doing that like for a while because she can't hear and she's not noticing and stuff.
Okay,
which is obviously is a little different. This is more of like a supernatural. It seemed like tendency, but this movie, the short film that we watched, like Woj said, it gave me questions like, oh, why does she have this rash on her skin all of a sudden?
Yeah, right around her neck. I saw that too.
Is that what's making her deaf? Why did she go out to the middle of the woods? And then who are these people that we see in the background? And there's only 9 minutes, so like I think
it's good.
It's a good
conversation.
To me, it's a good
yeah.
proof of concept. Like I can make a feature film. Here's what I can do in 9 minutes. Give me an hour and a half.
Yeah, give me a budget.
Give some exposition.
And if you need extras, we're right here. We could fill in a scene. I could be a dead corpse.
I do like though that again the short film doesn't go into the complete background, but that's the nice thing is that it kind of leaves a mystery. Like, I don't know what the background of Amira was, but I am interested to just kind of see of like, and then also like a kind of like a chilling thing of like, there's also like this weird
sound effect that
sorry. there's this weird thing of like it is affecting electronics because she is trying to call her mom, looks away for a second, then when she goes back, her phone is like dead.
Oh, I didn't catch it. I didn't pick up
so
on
like
that.
at a certain point, like it's affecting electronics. So like there's also that part of it of like what is the extent of this like being, and I'll get into Oculus a little bit with that.
Yeah,
of
it's
like
a good segue.
Well, just like the extent of that. But let's wrap up with Charlie's Wee Woo short film. Again, I can't believe we're saying it, but like Charlie McWade, friend of the pod.
He's a writer too. Yeah.
Again, we're definitely trying to get him on in some aspect.
Sure.
Yeah, capacity. That'd be cool to definitely talk about some other stuff. But I will put in the description the Vimeo link for the short film. But then also, again, there's some other stuff. Check out Charlie's page. I mean, he's... Again, very, very cool dude. Appreciate
man.
responding back and hitting us up. So that's dope.
Sick.
Any final thoughts on Wee Woo?
I thought it was cool. Like I said, I thought it was very well done. Like, looked very professional. Like a person who has experience, person who knows horror, the genre, and like I said, leaves you with questions and wanting to see the answers to these questions.
I like that, and I think he mentioned it when in our conversations. He had a team working with him to make this, to bring this full circle. So hats off to everyone that was part of the production team, directing, and it takes a village really to put together a good piece of work. So thanks to everyone who was a part of it. I liked it. It was gritty. There was foreboding. There was some intensity. Even that mask at the end, that was creepy as shit too. I was just like, okay, like that's something different we haven't seen. So, good little horror film. We appreciate it. We're gonna move on to Oculus now.
This was Ryan's pick, right?
Ryan's pick for our Halloween month, Oculus.
Oculus.
Who's next, by the way?
Right?
Yeah, it's Bobby. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's a 2013 American supernatural psychological horror film.
That's a lot of words.
Co-written,
Right?
co-written, edited, and directed by Mike Flanagan. And like I said, he was based on his short film, actually it was from 2005, Oculus, Chapter 3, The Man with the Plan. So they made a whole, that was like whatever, I don't know how long it was, but they made them, that was like a concept, and they made this movie off of that. And they expanded upon the story and things. It stars, Oculus stars Karen Gillan, Brenton Thwaites as two young siblings, Kaylee and Tim, who are convinced, or Kaylee especially is convinced that this antique mirror that they had when they were growing up, and it was responsible for the death and misfortune of their family, of their parents. And it also stars Katie Sackhoff as their mom, Marie, Roy Cochran as
Hey,
Alan.
look at his shirt.
Or intentionally,
Yeah.
My guy Rory as Alan, the father, and then
The father.
the father. And then other people who make an appearance are, of course, Mike Flanagan's wife, Kate Siegel. She's in all of his projects. She plays the ghost or the spirit of Marisol.
Okay. All right.
You got James Lafferty. He's from One Tree Hill. He's the
Love it.
fiance,
Yep.
Michael Dumont. Then you also got Michael Sandoval, who you will recognize. He's like that guy who's the Dr. Graham in the beginning.
Miguel Sandoval, right?
Yes, Miguel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Miguel.
I said, Miguel Sandoval is Dr. Graham, and that's pretty much it. It's not a big
Yeah,
cast.
that's not a huge cast.
Most of the people are like, if they're in it, are like, spirits or just
Quick pop-ins, yeah,
background or like
cameos.
maybe a cop or something,
Sure.
something small. But
Those are the main. Yeah, those are
basically, a synopsis of the story or the movie is it's two different timelines taking place not simultaneously, like interwoven of the two siblings, Kate,
Right.
when they were 12 and 10, and when they're 23 and 21. So, and the 2002 part is the past part, and that's when they moved into their new house with their mom and dad, and they got this mirror, and they put it in their father's office, and weird things start to happen with the family, especially him at first. Like his mood changes. He starts doing weird things, acting less like himself. Then it kind of spreads throughout to the rest of the house to the mom. She starts to go insane and stop being herself, stop caring, turns into a completely like a wild, almost like an animal at one point. And the kids are having to try and deal with it, like, because, and they're only 12 and 10, so they don't really know what to do. They have no one to
There's no
help them. These supernatural things are, kind of supernatural at least, or like, or they don't know what to do. And then so 11 years later, Kaylee gets the mirror, acquires the mirror because she works at like an auction house or something.
Yep.
And her brother went to prison when they were kids for, well, we don't know why till the end, but he ended up killing their father because he was choking Kaylee when they were children, and he killed their mom as well, I should say. Also, he gets released from a mental institution and reconnects with his sister, and his sister's like, "Hey, remember we made a promise when we were kids that we were going to destroy this mirror because it killed our parents, basically." And she has this whole plan of how to prove that the mirror did this, and which I'll go over, but like all these precautions and things and video cameras and throughout the movie, weird shit. It's like playing mind games with them. They don't know what's real or not. It fucks with your head. Like I'll go over like the powers of the mirror. There's a couple of things I noted, but it's basically like it's like psychological. You don't know what to believe or not. It has supernatural elements. And I really enjoy the 2 timeline thing. I think it makes the movie unique and really ties it together.
Sure.
And a lot of times they're like, they the little girl run through the background, and it's like the past Kaylee, but it's the older brother, in present time. So they're like seamlessly blending the things together because they're in their house they grew up in to do the experiment to prove that the mirror is haunted. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm about giving away the entire ending or whatever.
Right. Spoiler alert. But yeah.
So I know you guys had said you guys had seen this. Correct?
I did see this one.
Okay, and I know Woj's not really a horror guy, and Bobby, you more are, and I am as well. So I guess let's just start first. Horror movies, your opinions on them. When did you, if you're into them, when did you get into them, or what? Would do you favor a specific type more than others? Like I'll just start. Like for me, I'm not a big slasher person as much. I like more of this type of supernatural, psychological, kind of like possession stuff, like The Conjuring, Insidious. This where it's like I kind of put myself there, and I would freak the hell out of me. Like, because what are you gonna do? Like, it's an entity.
You can't fight something supernatural.
You can't. At least Michael Myers doesn't die, but you could hopefully
stab him,
run
and
away or
shoot
shoot him, or you could do something. Whereas this is like, what the hell are you gonna do? Especially in this movie when they're
hopelessness
when
of
they're
it.
kids. What would you do? Like, that's a cool concept to me. Like, I could put myself, oh my god, if I was 12 years old, my parents started getting crazy, and these like ghosts were in the house, and what the hell would you do? Like that kind of thing. For me, also, I wasn't into horror for a long time. So about maybe like 2013. Before that, I hated it. But then, like, I just, for whatever reason,
flip the switch,
got into it. And these are kind of the movies that started me into it. Sinister, you mentioned before, Bobby, is another good one.
So this is actually by the same production company. Blumhouse Production created Oculus and Sinister. Sinister, I believe, was released prior to this.
A year before.
Yeah, the year before.
Yeah.
And I think there's quite a few similarities from A to B. But
what about you, Bobby? What's your horror experience?
I was talking to Charlie on this even in our conversation. I got introduced to horror movies when I was younger. I'd say around 8 or 9. We'd do a family trip, and my older cousins. That's where I saw Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time. Pumpkinhead with my other cousin when I was just over there on a family, event or Thanksgiving or something like that. So I guess it kind of has a special place in my heart to like get involved and watch horror movies. Exorcist, I still think, is one of the scariest films ever made. And then I guess I would lean towards more of that Freddy Krueger, Wes Craven, like slasher.
You like slashers more?
I do like slasher because especially Halloween, loved Michael Myers, and I like the creativity and the novice setup of it. Now, some of these other ones, I guess to your point, what is the one that came out in 2009? It was on like a $40,000 budget, but that possession where that girl gets like yanked off the bed. What am I thinking? Paranormal Activity.
Oh, the found footage one?
No, the Paranormal Activity when that came out in I think it was in 2008 or 2009, something like that. But that's this type of stuff that scares you more. So it's like the spiritual, realm or like Sinister kind of. I've leaned more towards that. And Sinister, I told him that was a hard reset for me. I haven't been spooked by many horror films because I've been watching them all. I enjoy them. That one, whew.
Yeah,
whew.
It's a good one.
What
about you, Woj?
Yeah, I think it's pretty well known on the pod. Horror tends to definitely fall low on the ranking of genres.
Yeah.
I would probably just put out that the type of horror I don't really care about. Like, I don't really have a lane where I'm like, oh, I enjoy this over this. suspenseful is definitely like what I think of as like a horror film. So like
Okay.
having suspense in it and doing whatever. I definitely had a this fit very firmly into a like junior high type of, like, not necessarily that I watched it in junior high, but like it's kind of like that junior varsity kind of feel of a horror movie. There are elements that are gross. There are elements that are kind of suspenseful or like scary, snap, what's it called? Like jump scares and stuff like that. There's stuff like that. But in the total scheme of it, I just feel like there's so many other horror movies that are like so much more like where you're like, oh, I have a fucking real fear of this now. An Oculus and the mirror and that kind of type of like haunting is just not, I guess maybe it's just not to me as scary. So like I enjoyed the film to know like, hey, it's like a decent film. You can watch it whenever. Like I was watching it, doing some clips and stuff like that for the pod and editing some stuff. So I'm like, it's not something where I'm like, I cannot look away or I have to look away. It was kind of right in the middle.
Well, yeah, I don't think this is necessarily like the scariest horror movie, but I just think that it's a well done movie with like a good story,
yeah.
Characters that aren't acting stupid. They're doing logical, like.
Well, we'll get to picking it.
Well, I mean, I'll just say now, but the kids, they did what they could. They got the neighbor. They tried calling. Like there were, and the parents obviously are like possessed or under the influence or whatever.
Under the influence.
Well, I don't know what you want to call it.
Ghosts?
Of the mirror's pull. Yeah, this guy that hypnotizes them. I don't know how you
I was drunk on Ghost last night, man. I did some crazy shit.
But they're not just like, oh, let's just go in this room for no reason, or like, let's,
Okay. But you're saying that it was a well done film. I tend to agree. I think it was a well done film in terms of a story, a plot. Okay, there's a villain. There's that archetype. There's a hero archetype. Like there's like these things that work within a horror film. Just in comparison, and Bobby, I'm not shitting on you, but like something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 or whatever.
Like I said, the slasher, I kind of like that kind of shit.
But I just think that the story of that was a little bit more of like, okay, it's just like this is the track. They're in the country and they're going to die.
It's very linear,
Well,
yes.
slashers movies to me are like the whole appeal to it is like the kill. How good was the kill? How interesting, how bloody, how unique was the kill? Not so much like the scary jump scares or sometimes there is that.
To me, the story for that matter again, and this is at least something where I'm like it's thought provoking. I'm thinking about other things as opposed to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just as this example, seemed to be a little bit more of like, as Bobby said, it was linear. It was like you are going to a slaughterhouse. That's what the end result is. In Oculus, you have a feeling kind of what's happening, like going to happen at some point. Like you feel like these two people are going to die at some point, but you don't really know the why. You don't know where that is going to come in.
I like how they do that. Like you find out more throughout the movie. Like I said, they intertwine the two timelines. It's like, okay, obviously something with their parents, they got killed but like the events that led up to it, what happened and why
exposition.
it happened.
Yeah.
And
good stuff.
I think it's done well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not like I don't think it's necessarily too over the top. Maybe Katie Sackhoff's character, but it's because she went, nuts or whatever. But like, it's sometimes where it's like a lot of like, it's more, like I said, more like trying to be shocking or like I love The Conjuring, but more like, I won't say loud, but like bigger, like this is more like subtle, where it's like,
yes,
like the ghosts are there and they're creepy as hell, but they're not like, screaming or, necessarily, I don't know. It's just a little different to me.
Anybody who's seen The Conjuring and those other movies are definitely like.
But that being said, I love The Conjuring.
So, just a little factoid, because I did do a little research on this. Oculus was inspired by the Stephen King short story of the Reaper. I want to get this right. The Reaper's Image. I'm almost certain of it. Yeah. So The Reaper's Image is a short story by Stephen King in which the person, upon gazing into this mirror, or they call it like, I forget the exact name from that short story, but they see the Grim Reaper, and then soon thereafter they vanish into a void and, they're gone. So I guess it was used as a basis to kind of develop this movie Oculus, whereas instead of you vanishing into a void, you have a malevolent spirit, consume you and then warp your, perceptions and realities. So it was just a little fun factoid. Stephen King movies, we did Misery, so nice little tie-in.
And they said it's directed by Mike Flanagan. He's like one of the best in horror, at least right now. Like he's the last 10 years. He's done so many things.
Oh yeah.
Oculus, Hush, Before I Wake, Ouija, Origin of Evil, Gerald's Game, Doctor Sleep, which is the Shining sequel. And he might especially know him for the Netflix ones, The Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass.
Ooh, Bly Manor, that was a good one.
The Fall of the House of Usher, and he's going to do a Carrie series coming up.
Good job, man. You're crushing it.
So I love Haunting of Hill House, and Midnight Mass is really good also. But this guy is. I think he's, to me, one of the better people who do horror, because he's not always relying on jump scares, but he knows when to put them in, smartly, choose his spots, and
well said.
Have somewhat of a realism of the ghosts, and like you could see it happening, and it's creepy, but it's not too much. Like I said, I was kind of trying to say that before.
Sure.
So, what else do I have here? Yeah, let's just get into it then.
Can I just mention one thing on kind of the others of the casting?
Oh, sure.
WWE produced this?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I did see that.
They did finance part of this.
I mean, this is Mike Flanagan's second movie. His first movie was crowdfunded. So it's his real first.
I just didn't know WWE produced movies.
They got into the entertainment world in a sense.
Does anybody know another one that WWE produced?
No, not that.
They used to do, I think, some of the Rock's movies.
Okay. I can see that.
Like Walking Tall, I think they might have done.
Honestly, it's a good flick.
I like Walking Tall as well.
Yep.
So like I said, I think, again, knows about this movie I had. Just great score. I love that. I think it works really well. There's no music in this movie.
The score is solid.
The score is good, though. It's a good haunting, creepy, sending the tension.
Yeah, I'd say a couple items on the soundtrack or just score. A real pulse pounding in terms of it works well with the visual aspect of showing oh shit. The one part that I think is great is that in the film they have these cameras set up so that they can monitor and document all this information about what's going to happen, and then a big, and Ryan will touch on this, and the effects of the mirror is that they forget what they were doing. So I like though that it works when they're seeing the playback of the tape. And then there's some pulse pounding or some score behind that to know oh shit, I didn't do that, and it starts to get more intense there. There's also at one point kind of this a piercing sound that kind of to me always hits me in the back of the head, right here. Where you're oh shit, something's about to happen. I like that feeling that I get when the score kind of sets you up into the next part of the scene or what about is about to happen.
Yeah. So you kind of were talking about it, the mirror.
Yeah. Why don't you get
what
into
does it
the
do?
effects?
Some of the effects on people and things. It kills plants eventually. If plants are around it long enough, it'll dry them out and kill them.
Sure.
So that's how they were testing the range of its effects. They had plants throughout the house and. It started in one room.
That was a fun scientific experiment.
And then kept extending. So they were okay, well, the mirror's power is this far. We know that it's going to, its reach right now is, and the longer it's in the house and the longer you're around the mirror, the more the effects it has on you. The stronger, the more it can fuck with you. Dogs know it's evil and bark around it. And also the mirror either kills them or makes them disappear. I don't know.
It is not specifically outlined of what.
But you know what? I'll say this. Dogs or cats, I take that to heart. If a dog or cat is nervous or scared about someone, there's something wrong with them.
I mean, that's a horror movie thing is usually dogs know when something's messed up. They'll bark, like Amityville Horror.
Or get fear. Tail between the legs.
Yeah, they know when in Conjuring, the dog won't go back in the house.
Right.
So if your dog does something, you probably know something's fucked up.
Yeah, take a second pause before you move forward. Yep.
Dogs can look up.
It makes
it's called a callback.
It makes people act irrational, eventually crazy and evil, and not yourself. It manipulates you, whispers to them, or it does something to their brain. It's not 100% specific, but it changes, alters you to what you would do normally, there's a scene where the husband, the wife is clearly something's wrong with her, and he's going to call the ambulance. And it's like another thing. It affects cell phones also. I'm just going to get into that. It affects cell phones. They won't connect to who you're trying to call. It'll give you like a fake voice, or you don't know if your call actually made it out or not. But like he's trying to call 911, and then the voice comes on the phone. He kind of stops and he hangs up, and then it's like he was himself for like those 30 seconds. Then the thing snapped him back into the weird. The mirror took over or whatever. It can dehydrate you or starve you depending on where you're at. She goes over all these cases of a history of the mirror, and it has a history of people who have owned it, either killed or committed suicide or some weird.
There's always been some weird. This is why I felt like there was a lot of similarities, or at least a pull from Sinister, because similar concept, different, delivery.
Yeah, I would just say that the variety and way of people dying, excuse me, in the previous iterations it wasn't just a one-trick pony. It was like different variations, but all basically revolving around the fact that the more time you spend around this mirror, you essentially are going. You are going insane.
Yep.
In terms of killing other people, killing yourself.
Yeah, it manipulates you into doing things or seeing or hearing things that aren't real or there. You can't damage it. You try and attack it, and it disarms you or makes you think you're hitting it, but you're actually hitting next to it.
Sure.
And the only time it got damaged was when Tim shot his dad, and it went through his dad into the mirror.
I was about to say it's inadvertent damage is how that would possibly damage the mirror, but essentially it is indestructible. I would say that. Like, there is not an ability to intentionally harm the mirror, which is as they set up an anchor on a pendulum to basically swing into the mirror as a kill switch.
Yes.
That's their final solution.
It affects electricity and knocks out power. And like I said, with the phone thing, if you're within the range of the mirror, you could be thinking that you're calling. Like there was a scene where when they were kids, they were trying to call a doctor or somebody for help for their mom, and it was the same voice that would answer as, "Have your father call us in the morning." And, it was this, and then they bring it back when they try calling again when they're adults, like, "Have your father call us." And it's like that peak, the pitching sound you were talking about. So that's kind of a quick thing of it, and then I'm just gonna start again. You kind of explained it. I'm gonna just get specific with the scene where. Let's just jump in the scenes. The scene where Kaylee is explaining how she's going to do the experiment. I'm just going to go over that.
Why don't you?
So Kaylee and her brother meet them at their old house.
Can you also mention that the brother got
released from the mental institution. He's under the thought that the doctors convinced him that their father was just crazy, and unfortunately, this is what happened, and your father was a murderer, and you had to kill him because of whatever.
And again, the kid got locked up because his prints are on the gun. He pulled, and I do want to mention this: the father actually pushes the son's finger to pull the trigger. So I will get into a more cerebral kind of thing about the father's mental state at a certain point in the other characters in this, but the kid gets basically pinned for the father's murder.
Yes.
He's so young that they basically sent him to a mental institution.
For 11
now this
years.
is 11 years.
Yeah.
Now he gets released, and Kaylee, go ahead.
And they have had this plan since they were kids that he forgot about, and she has been working every day, it seems like, focusing on getting this to prove that her parents, that was not their fault, that this mirror influenced them and that ruined her life, ruined their lives and whatnot. So she works at the auctions house. She gets the mirror, a hold of it, says it's going to be like repaired or something. And then she brings it to their old house to do the experiment where she has set up all these things. So has her brother meet her there. Kaylee explains to her brother, and she has 2 recording cameras separately on different power sources, and a third one behind them, and another power source just in case those 2 would go out.
Right.
That what she has planned for the mirror, the effects of the mirror, and a history of who the mirror affected. We went over that, all the different ways that it made people kill them or kill other people or weird shit would happen, and also how the experiment's going to work. So she has, again, 2 separate video cameras, actually 3 cameras. food so they don't starve, because there's a case of where a guy starved. Water, because there was a case where a woman was in a bathtub and got dehydrated somehow and died of
dehydration.
Ironically, in a bathtub. Plants, like I said, to measure the effect of the mirror, because when they die, it's when you know that the mirror has that reached that far.
They also, I don't know if you had it on there, but lights.
Yeah.
Because again, it affected lights throughout the movie. You saw lights flickering.
Yes.
And honestly, the characters really didn't pay too much attention to it. Didn't really call it out as much. But then in the experiment, they were definitely like, here's all these light bulbs, and here's
and they had different light bulbs to replace them. They also had like camping lights or something kind of. It was like where you would just kind of click it open and be on its own battery power or whatever. A dog so the mirror could like take its energy or something.
They're trying
feed
to
off of the dog.
They're trying to prove the hypothesis that every single instance of the mirror killing people, they had dogs. Dogs were never found again.
Yeah, never found, right.
So they're trying to prove that theory of like what happens to the dog.
And then also they find out that while the dog was there, it was distracting or taking up the mirror's range. And then once the dog left, it like expanded out further. So they were like, oh wow, the dog was really doing more than we thought, kind of thing. Alarm clocks set to go off every 45 minutes to remind them to change the camera tapes, and every hour to remind them to eat.
Last thing?
Yeah, I got more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, every room has an individual thermostat, which measures and records any change in temperature. Also, another precaution she took, the last one, was that she has her fiance call her every hour on the hour to ask her how she's doing, is everything okay? And it was under the pretense that her brother just got released from a mental institution, and she was uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
And then, the last thing, is she also has, like Woach said, the kill switch.
Yeah.
20-pound Danforth anchor. It's basically like a big giant blade, two blades, hooked up to like a barbell with like weights on it, strung up to the roof of the ceiling, anchored with a fiber wire or whatever, and that needs to be reset every 30 minutes, or it will smash, and it's going to smash directly where they hung the mirror. So it's like literally they're holding. She says that we're holding a gun to its head, and they're going to make it come out and play.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, good. I also would just piggyback on like the experiment setup is actually one of my favorite parts.
I love it.
The scientific method
film.
of it, sure.
The concept is very cool.
The concept of like what she's trying to do is to like set up to like, hey, we want to observe this and see all this. Now again, obviously chaos ensues directly from that.
At least like that's what I was kind of trying to get at. Sorry, really quick, Woj, is that like
go ahead.
Like there is sense to these characters. They're not just dumb. Like she has a plan. She's researched this. Like there are reasons why these things are all here. And
she was very motivated and very coordinated.
Just like, scared girl, let's hide in the room with the chainsaws, or like dumb shit like that.
Yeah, I get you.
Continue, Woj. Sorry.
The deja vu. These are like quick scenes, as you were saying. That like it is interwoven with the previous instance of them being there. I like that just kind of not callback, but like the continued use of it was simply like, oh, this is exactly where, what was the name of the son, the kid? Tim. It was like, oh, Tim was standing right there, and then it pops up to him as an adult, then goes back, and then the flip-flop.
I like how
he's flip-flopping.
Yeah, and I like how he sees like his younger self in some scenes. He's like, oh shit, like he's like remembering it, but he's also living it at the same time. And then he sees like his younger sister, or like they keep like seeing the versions of them. And sometimes they're seeing their dad walk around with a gun, or the other ghost.
This kind of has a little bit of that Shutter Island,
Like you don't know what to believe, what's real.
Right, a little bit of that. So I'll give him a credit in terms of, kind of creating that atmosphere.
Like an example of that, too, is like the mirror fucking with you. Like in the beginning, her dad picks his nails. Really, and he has a really bad bloody one. And for some reason, he's using he has a Band-Aid up. He's using a staple remover to take the Band-Aid off because he can't get it off his finger. And he thinks he's taking it off the Band-Aid, but then when it pans back, he's actually just taking off his entire nail with the staple remover, and it's all bloody and shit. And like he doesn't even seem to feel the pain because he's under the mirror's trance or will or whatever you want
Sure.
to say.
I would also just interject that because one of the effects of the mirror is to kind of have this delusion or like amnesia type of effect, there is a part where I find a lot of the times in the movie I'll go like, is that real?
Well, I think
Like-
that's part of the movie is like you don't know. Like,
Right. I'm saying like with the nail thing specifically because it does that deja vu effect a couple times where like he takes the Band-Aid off and then he looks back down and the Band-Aid's on again. And then he does the stapler because
Right.
of it.
Yes.
So I'm like a couple times, like even when he does the stapler and he does that, I'm like, oh. Now later in the film, you do see his hand on the wall as he's talking to the neighbor,
Yes.
trying to act like everything's all cool.
Yes.
And with that, I do see you see the blood. And so it is real to an extent. But like I said, I like the fact that it's like you do ask yourself that question a couple times. Is that real? Is that not real?
Yes, and then to piggyback off that, well, just another scene specifically involving that. You kind of mentioned it earlier. So Kaylee and Tim are arguing about what happened, if it's a mirror haunt or not. Tim is obviously like, no,
Sure.
I went through this in therapy. You can
Right.
go through it too. And
Okay.
like he almost convinces her. He lets the dog out. He's like, I'm letting the dog out. Like the only one in here who's a threat is you. Like you're keeping this dog here. They leave the room, let the dog out. They're out there for a little bit, and when they walk back in, the cameras are pushed together,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
facing
Kind
each
of creepy,
other.
yeah.
The plants are in the middle of the room are dead, and then the temperature's gone up to 78 degrees, like 3 or 4 or
3 or
5
4
degrees,
degrees, yeah.
whatever. And then they review the tape, and it shows the two of them, as you said, moving the cameras together and doing all this stuff, and they have no memory of that because they remember being in the other room. So I honestly don't know. Like I always think when I watch this, did they move the cameras and they just don't remember it, or is the mirror just giving them a fake video to see, and the mirror just actually moved the stuff on its own? Like it's trying to make her movie or her recording like tainted, basically. Like, oh, like we moved the like obviously they didn't move on their own, and it's portrayed like I don't know. Like you said, you just don't know. Like maybe they don't remember.
We
doing
didn't
it.
start the fire.
Yeah, but I think that's
It was always burn.
a cool part of the movie.
Yeah.
That stuff, and there's more. Like really quick, when she's changing the light bulbs, and she's eating an apple, and she's eating the apple, changing the light bulb. She puts the apple down on the counter, puts the bulb on the counter, and then picks the apple back up, and it's the light bulb.
Yep.
And she's bit into the glass, and she spits out the blood and picks out the
Huge
piece.
piece, yeah.
And then her brother comes back in, and she's all like freaked out, and he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like. But it turns out she did eat the apple. It wasn't the light bulb. So the mirror is like constantly
Playing tricks on her.
playing tricks on you. You don't know what to believe or not to believe.
What you got, Bobby? Favorite scene? One more.
I think just the revelation, I guess call it the anti-climax ending, but him getting dragged away again, right back to kind of that look back where now he sees his mom, dad, and sister with those
Well, I mean, I think you should mention that the climax of the film before he's taken away is
obviously it's her getting
the sister. He goes up
With
to
the
this kill switch going, "This is over.
Yeah.
This is done." And because the mirror plays tricks on him, he doesn't see that Kaylee is literally standing
right in
right
front
by
of
the
it.
mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Kill
Protecting
switch,
it, essentially.
Kill switch goes directly into her neck, basically.
Yep.
And then he watches her die, and it's like, holy shit.
Well, and they said too, besides the mirror playing tricks, it defends itself.
Right.
Earlier,
exactly.
Earlier in the film, he says, "I'm gonna pick up a stool and just smash it." She's like, "Go for it. Go smash it right now." And then he's about to, and then he stops and he starts talking, and she's like, "Why'd you put the stool down?"
Right.
And he's like, "Because I don't need to." Blah blah
right.
blah.
It starts to mess with their head.
And then
but,
there's like
yeah.
a story of an earlier guy they said at a bank who ran at it with like a club, like saying he needed to die, and then he just stopped in front of it and couldn't move, and he walked out into traffic and was murdered, hit by cars or whatever. And then again later in the film, with the final night when all this stuff's going down, they grab the golf clubs, and they're whacking at the mirror, but turns out they're just whacking the wall around the mirror, and then when they thought they were bashing the mirror the whole time.
No, but like I said, that I call it spooky, like ghoulish. Those eyes, at the end of it. That for me, that imagery right there sets the tone.
I mean, they should have fucked Tim twice. They got him going to a mental institution at 11 or 9 or whatever, and then he comes out. Right back to the mental institution.
Well, it's a great. I think it's a great ending. Like you don't, like man, like that's fucked up. But that's a lot of good horror movies are. Like,
oh, you overthrew him, you stupid motherfucker!
Touchdown.
As a walk-in touchdown.
And like earlier in the movie, they went outside to call the cops, and he didn't know if they got through or not. And it turns out he did get through, but you
called the cops on himself.
Yeah, and you just don't know.
There's a different concept I heard on this is that there is no curse to this mirror, that the family itself kind of fell into disarray, and the son, call it, picking up on the father and his violent tendencies, kind of just fast track that. Like I've heard that there's like an alternate approach to this where it's like nothing is supernatural.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I've read an article about that, but I'm not
that's
certain.
more of the picking at Synopsis.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm good on scenes if we want to move on to the next category.
Definitely not. No.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
All right.
Well, you guys skipped to the end. I mean, you kind of like.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My wind out of
I
my
thought we were.
sails.
I thought we were hitting.
okay.
I thought we were hitting along the way. My
All
bad.
right, okay, let's go to scene 6.
All right, Bobby. Just because you
No,
don't
no,
have
no,
scenes doesn't mean the rest of us aren't prepared to do this.
Oh,
Like,
no, you're right. I'm sorry.
right.
That's me.
Ryan, what do you got? Sorry. What did
So like,
we
we
gloss
skip
over?
when there's like a couple of scary scenes with the mom. The mom, like,
Right. Okay. Fair.
so like, and they show like, okay, in the beginning, like the family has like a good family and they're friendly and they're making dinner and whatever. And then like as she gets worse, she gives them burnt
progressions.
toast for dinner,
Right,
and, like
that-
cereal, and then it's eventually they don't buy groceries anymore. And one part, she thinks her husband's having an affair because
Right,
they saw Marisol, who was one of the people possessed by the mirror from the past, like massaging him and
right.
Well, the daughter is seeing this, which I still kind of pose as like this could be the mirror just fucking with her mind, and it could be the dad is getting like seduced by this for sure. But I also just pose that it could be the daughter. Hey, I'm just saying this. Now she says, "Oh, there was a woman in the office the other day," and then the mom starts going crazier and crazier.
So his personality starts changing. He spends all his time in the office, doesn't pay attention to the family, to his wife, and then same thing. She starts changing because the mirror got her. She stares at it and like,
I got 2 cinematic scenes though.
okay. There's
Ooh, okay.
There's one part where her C-section is like pus oozing out.
Very graphic.
And then she has, like you said, she's making some toast for dinner. She's just drinking wine, and then the one part would be so like the mirror hypnotizes her, and Tim goes up to her and like, "Mom, are you okay?" Like from behind, and she just chokes him.
Yeah.
And then trips. She sprints, runs, chases them up the stairs, running full speed at them. They just get the door closed, and she's banging.
Yeah,
her
she slams into it
and her head, like nonstop, just like irrationally at the thing. And that's when the dad comes home. He's gonna call 911, but then the mirror again takes control of him, and he ends up chaining her to the bedroom and keeping her like a wild animal in there, basically. And then she's like feeding her like slop, and she's like biting the plate, not even the food, and like losing her teeth, and they're all bloody.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I guess we
it's
glossed
okay.
over some of. Like I said, there's a lot. I think cinematography or scenic. But
And then, like I said, the ending when the husband finally releases the wife, and the kids are in, I think, Tim's room or her room, and they're like, "Okay, you gotta be brave. Let's be brave, Timbo. We gotta be real brave," and like run out there. She whacks the mom with the golf club, and then jumps out the second story window, comes back in, and her mom's about to kill her, but she has like a moment of clarity, like the mirror released her or something.
Sure.
Husband kills her. Same thing like you were saying, Woj, I just want to mention really quick, like when before Timmy kills him, he, like you said, he helps him aim the gun. Like he again had a moment of like,
yeah, those are the 2 moments that I was gonna say. Like
kill
I think
me now.
I think it's kind of not a cliche, but it's a common thing in horror films where like there's a moment of love is conquering all. They're looking at like the people that they love. They remember who they are. And with the father though, I think it's definitely more in the fact of like he knows like I am not well, and that's why he's like, you got to take me out so I don't hurt you any further.
I forgot one more last
Go
one
ahead.
I mentioned. Kaylee is getting all the lights, the camping lights.
Yeah.
She kicks a flower pot, and then on her phone, it's like, oh, the flower pot's not real because it's not showing up on the camera. And what she thinks is her mom like when she was crazy, pops up. She stabs her mom with the flower pot, and turns out it's her fiance.
Yeah.
And
that was real?
Yes.
Because then she shows up
the camera and he shows up on it. So
right.
I believe, yes, it was.
Sure.
And then, but right after that, she gets a call from her fiance on the phone.
Yeah.
Hey, just checking in. So guys, you kind of don't know. I think she stabbed him, but
I think the camera thing is like it's still you're not able to really know what it is because the mirror can kind of make you see other shit.
And then, as you said, Woj, at one point they're trying to get the neighbor to help out because they were calling all the doctors and people they can't get through because of the mirror. And they get the neighbor over, but the dad convinces them otherwise. Has the bloody fingers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much. We think we covered.
I'm sorry, you're right. I did skip
It's
right
okay,
to
dude.
No.
Like,
I know. I do that way too often. I apologize.
It's okay. To me, like again, like personally, what's scary to me
The progression
in
of
movies, a big thing for me is people running at you. That freaks the hell out of me.
Oh,
and
like
especially
the sprint? Like when she was going up the stairs,
yes.
like dude,
And
full
you
tilt.
just got the door closed, and like especially I put myself in that situation as a 12-year-old kid because I was literally like the same age as the girl in the movie 2002. I was 12.
Okay.
It's like, that would be so crazy if your mom or your dad was just like
Sure.
running at you. I would scare the hell out of me. So.
I get you. I would just say the two cinematic shots, like again, like in horror movies, I do see a lot of stuff where I'm like, that is a very cool shot that happens. Marie is looking in the mirror. There's two of them where one, this is earlier on where the mirror is starting to possess her a little bit, and she starts feeling around the C-section scar, and you think that there's going to be a scene where like she's digging in there, ripping it open, something along that. You said it was like pussing and stuff like that later on. That was it's just a moment of queasiness for sure, but it was like interesting. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? The other one this is more when she has been possessed, but she has a kind of weird moment of clarity of her looking at her reflection. And this is also a crazy thing in the movie where the reflection would move. And it happens early on where Kaylee's looking at it and the doll's in the back, heads turn towards it, and you're like, what the
sculptures
hell?
Yeah,
sculptures.
Yeah.
The subtleties. I love subtleties.
But when Marie looks in the mirror and then there's this moment of clarity, or like, again, like she's kind of seeing herself, it's almost like a Matrix effect. If you guys caught it, it was like in the hallway.
Yes, I did catch that.
And then zones in on her. I love that.
Yeah.
I also love the light bulb. Like, again, I'm not a real big gore fan, but like the fact of like the
creepy. That was
apple, like the light bulb coming out of it, I kind of somewhat enjoy. And Gerald's Game is actually, you mentioned that movie that Callahan, what's his name?
Flanagan. Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan. Sorry, dude.
Sorry, dude.
That he does well. Like in Gerald's Game, there was a scene where it was like pretty gory off the thing, and my reaction is always like, oh no, but I can't look away, and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening?
I think Mike Flanagan he does good, like smart horror, like not just like dumb,
gory,
cheap
yeah.
effects, or like there's like more to it, where it's like he has like a passion for it. I think you can tell, like, and like a love for it. The most cinematic shot I had, I just jotted one down. It's not like a big like, it's like when the mom and dad they're getting intimate, and she's complaining about her C-section scar, and the camera like tilts, I think up or down, like as he's crawling up her like body. It was kind of cool. It was like the camera like tilted. I like that.
That transition. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Do you have any, Bobby, you want to mention, or are you good?
No, I'm good on it.
Okay. There's not really many quotes. I had like 2 quotes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have your father call, or have your call in the morning, because that comes back.
Yeah,
sure.
That's frequent.
And then Timbo, we're gonna have to get really, really brave, and that also gets used a couple times where they call back to that. Other than that, it's not really a quoting movie.
Yeah, I had 2. You named the dog.
Yeah,
like,
no, that was
she's
fun.
obviously
nice
like
touch,
thinking like this is gonna be a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
And then when she's calling her fiance calls, the reason that she like says like why to call every hour is that her brother is a mentally
Right.
insane person. I don't know how it's gonna
She's
go.
afraid.
And then he just like in the room.
Yeah,
I don't
in the
know. There's
room.
like a little too quick ones, but that's all I have for quotes. What do we got next?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would say that guy. I would think there's only one real that guy. I mean, I think all these people could maybe be like they're on like the fringe of it. But I would say the guy who I would give it to would be the Dr. Graham Miguel Sandoval,
yeah.
who is like an entourage. Is the tequila guy, works with Turtle. He's in Seinfeld.
He's in a bunch of shit,
shit. You would recognize him. I mean, the one guy, obviously, James Lafferty's from One Tree Hill.
Sure.
I don't really watch that.
About those were the only. I had Miguel Sandoval.
I mean, Katie Sackhoff's a good.
She was in.
She's in a lot of things. 24, Nip Tuck.
Yeah, Nip Tuck, I remember.
Mandalorian.
What was a bigger
Mando
show?
too,
She
yeah.
was
Love the Mando.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, she was like.
So like,
the
I don't
main
know.
one.
I don't think she'd be considered maybe for some people.
I
Obviously,
wouldn't
Karen
consider.
Gillan's obviously in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
As Nebula. Brendan Thwaites is in.
Pirates
he was
of-
in Teen Titans.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the
The
Caribbean.
newer one that was shittier.
Roy Cochran, obviously from Days of Confused.
Yeah.
Slater.
I mean, Roy Cochran. I gotta just do a shout out, man. He's a phenomenal actor. in
Yeah,
this,
I love him in this movie, playing a different type of character. You get to see that. That was really cool.
I think he's a good actor, so it helps to see the progression of like loving father to then psychopath. Like he does it very well.
I guess who was your favorite character or not favorite? Who do you think did the best in this movie? Who was like, who stood out to you performance wise?
I think the mother's performance.
Katie Sackhoff?
Yes, I really, like I said, her transition from, kind of like, leave it to be, I wouldn't say leave it to be, but, loving housewife, passionate housewife, and then she becomes feral.
Like a wild animal. basically.
Legit. So, like, and you know what? It takes some level of commitment to do that on film. So, yeah, that'd be my vote.
Rory Cochran.
Roy Cochran.
Yeah.
I will go with. I'll probably go Roy Cochran too. Although I think Karen Gillan's really good in this also
Yeah,
as the
agreed.
main.
Agreed.
As the main. That's like an obvious choice, but I think Roy Cochran.
You could go with
Seeing
the
him,
obvious.
well, because Woj already mentioned him, so I'd probably pick him. But just to mention someone else, I'll pick Karen Gillan. Just
Sure.
To mention
All right.
her. We did that guy. We did the thing. I don't have any recasting. It's kind of a small cast. There's not really. Again, we talked about. There's no songs, just a score.
What was the budget of this? Do you know?
Yeah, so I can tell you that, sure, Bobby. It was $5 million. It made $44 million. So
Ooh.
quite profitable.
Not a bad hit.
And the horror movies usually are like that. It's like one set, 5 actors. Like it's limited budget, which helps like with the profit and stuff.
Right, of course.
Let's go to the spin-off, prequel, sequel. Who wants to start?
Obviously, I think the prequel. I would be curious, and this would be like dialing it back to the original owner, whoever create. I'd be curious on who created this. This mirror.
I had the same thing.
And maybe that first family, whoever should own it, like, was it originally just kind of a mirror by itself, and then something was put onto it?
Yeah, yeah,
or
the
was
origin
it
story.
already? Was it evil in its origin?
Yeah, I had that too. The origin of the mirror, what made it evil, or like you said, the first case they mentioned, the Lasser glass, that could be it.
And it is cracked, so I'm curious what that is.
Well,
that
no,
was the dad.
That was the
Oh,
dad.
okay.
And when they shot him, it went through him. What was I say? I read about this that the point of he kind of went with it's called like Lovecraftian, where it's like the part of it is like you don't really the reason why it's evil isn't important. It's more that just it is. But I would like to know why.
Yeah,
too.
right,
Yeah.
right. There's a story there.
Woj?
Yeah, I would just like other iterations of the story, kind of messing people up. So that would be cool. But definitely like something from the 1700s or
Yeah.
in that general area would be interesting for sure.
I think you could do like literally like any of the hauntings she mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, the bank one, any of them. You could also, if you wanted to do a sequel, that the mirror goes to the next whoever, and you could have the people come back and be part of the ghosts or whatever, the spirits.
Yeah.
It really lends itself to either.
Yeah, there's a
one.
lot of options there.
I had I don't know if this would be kind of weird, like a spin-off sequel. Tim, like in the mental institution, it'd be like he's trying to escape to get to the mirror, but like
okay.
weird shit's happening in the mental institution. So maybe like, I don't know why it would be, but
Sure.
just like something like
I mean, you
that.
got to explain it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little, but
Okay.
Switcheroo crossover, any of that for that? If you don't have any, it's okay.
Yeah, I think Mirror could have been in the Amityville Horror House some fashion. You kind of mentioned up front, but like I just think like having a house where there is like possession and stuff like that, it lends itself to also have other demonic possessions in there that like you could just see in passing, like, oh, that's a laser, like, you know, or just like a very brief picture, like passerby, like, oh, there's a corner where it's broken, so you know that's the laser glass.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes to mind is, and we've done this as a kid, and there is actually some science behind this. There's some psychological effects that if you stare into a mirror long enough, your face starts to become distorted. Things start to get a little bit weird. I'm not asking anyone to do this, but if you end up doing it, be safe about it. But don't be surprised if, you start to not recognize the person's, staring back at you. So that being said, I think a spin-off, we got a game going on, but a spin-off to that, I would think is, how we do the Bloody Mary thing to the mirror? That was a thing when we were kids. Imagine Bloody Mary, the Queen of England, who's this, grotesque, kills a bunch of young women. Maybe this mirror was a part of it. So, I don't know. Just an idea.
I think it could be in, like, you could have, like, you could have had from the Insidious movie, the character Elise. She's like the person who they go to I don't know if you've seen the Insidious movies or not.
Of course.
She's, the older woman who has the reach to the spirit world.
Yes.
Maybe to examine the mirror or do a cleansing of the house or something. Also, you could do the same thing with The Conjuring. The Warrens could have came by, checked out the mirror kind of thing.
I like the first one better.
Yeah, I think so too. And then this wouldn't make any sense or have any, like, time-wise, but I just thought it'd be funny if in the mental institution with him was like Sarah Connor from T2.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
Again,
that's fun.
It wouldn't line up or anything, make sense in any way, but like if just Linda Hamilton was there, and it's like, oh, is that Sarah Connor from
That'd
T2?
be a fun little drop, yeah.
Let's go on to picking Nits. Go ahead, guys.
I've been fucking waiting.
Yeah, Woj, go for it. I'm probably going to be adding on to yours.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so I got a big problem here with the horror movies in general, right? I've mentioned all this shit up top. Shit happens, blah, 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 blah. The fascination to clear your father's name, like that goal in mind to go like, it wasn't because dad is crazy. He's dead. Your mother's dead. Like, what is it going to solve? Like, if there was a part where they were like, we need to do this so this evil never rids anybody else again. But I picked up the point where she was saying we need to clear dad's name, that it wasn't him that killed him.
I think it's a little both, but probably more the dad thing.
I just look at it like, you're a shitty sister. Hey, my brother just got out of a mental institution.
Yeah, let's
go right back.
Put him on
there,
task
baby.
for this thing that ruined our family.
Hey, man, the thing that went crazy and you've been in mental institution for like 11 years thinking about, we're gonna go right back into it first thing, just so you know. Like, that type of shit is like, that makes no sense. Like, the brother should have been like, go fuck yourself, Kaylee. Like, we're done here. I'm going to go and live in Utah.
Well, he was trying to convince her that it was a lie and like that she needed therapy. And he even said, like, I'll stay for a little. And, like, he started trying to convince her otherwise. But then when they walk back in the room, the cameras are facing each other. And they're like, he's like, well, I guess I'm fucking wrong. Yeah,
I think it's also like there is that part where, again, because of the mirror is a little bit ambiguous, the powers of it, I do kind of see like, okay, maybe the kid is possessed in some way, shape, or form where he's like, I got to figure it out. They just didn't really say that. Like, they didn't give a reason for Tim coming back to go like, just saying like, oh, it's all in your head, or like, this is whatever, dad was crazy, this is what the doctors told me, and blah, blah, blah. I just, again, like, I need another sentence or two just to kind of explain, like, why are you going to go back and do that? Because I just spent 11 years in a mental institution. There's no way you could get me to go back into the fucking house.
But he doesn't believe that exists. He believes it was all his dad was a murderer and an abusive father. He doesn't think it's gonna happen. That's how confident he is. He went to they convinced him of this, where he's like, so he's trying to convince his sister of that as well. That like, just let it go. Like, hey, our father did this. He probably thinks he's going to be there for like 20 minutes, half hour, convince his sister and get the hell out of there and not see anything. And for a while, they didn't see anything. Their plants were fine. The dog was fine. Everything was good until that one scene, like I said, where they came back. And then now he's like, oh shit, like maybe I am remembering it wrong. Maybe. And then the memories start flooding back to him and he's seeing them in reality also a little bit. That, oh shit, like this is what happened. Because there is one scene where he's like, well, I remember the dog always being sick and that dad called mom from there. And she's like, well, no, that's not how it happened. Like you're not remembering it right. And there's obviously a little bit of, am I remembering it right? Or am I not remembering it right? I think to me, like, obviously, to have a horror movie, you have to have a reason for them to be whatever. Like, so I think that her wanting revenge for the mirror, although like a normal person obviously would probably be like, yeah, fuck that. But she thinks that she can beat it and she's motivated to do so. Sure. Because of all the making fun of, like she said, when she was a kid, all the kids glaring at them and her brother going away for all this time. Like she wants some type of redemption or justice or whatever, word you want to use. Sure. Obviously, like I said, a normal person, like, fuck that. But she's so confident in her research and she has everything prepared, like Home Alone style, basically.
So I could appreciate the scientific method that was employed by her, and clearly she had a design, she had an idea in mind, and she was able to, be
I understand
prepared
that
and
she is.
resourceful.
I understand that she is obsessed with it. I just think of like bringing your brother, who's like clearly had a problem with it at least initially. Now you're saying, okay, maybe he's been healed and released on his own recognizance because he's fine.
He's like brainwashed, where he thinks. None of this happened.
Because obviously the medical institution isn't going to say, yeah, it was ghost, man. You're fucked.
And he's been there for 11 years. So, like, now to him, it's like, well, yeah, she said, meet me here. He could have left. And she's like, you can leave, but I'm doing this. Like, okay, I'll stay for a little bit.
Yeah. My next pick in it is like, I just don't like in horror movies when like the object just looks fucking haunted. Like the glass is like kind of like stained and like kind of looks shitty, and it looks like it could be shitty, but like other horror movies do the same thing.
Just look like an antique to me.
It looks like an antique.
Just looks like shit.
I think it could be creepy and also just a normal. Like antiques do look kind of creepy. They're old and they have weird designs.
He's still going. All right, keep going.
Sorry, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, Dumont would have divorced this chick for sure. The husband.
Well, I don't think one of my, I didn't end up picking it, more of a question was, who did Kaylee install this big weight by herself, or did she have someone help her? Who helped her? How did she, because obviously you're going to have, you can't, I don't know if she could do that by herself or not, or if she figured it out. But
I just think that
I don't think the husband completely knows all of it.
No, not at all. But like when you're calling your wife and like, hey, you need to call me every hour on the hour. The husband's not just fucking waiting back and going like, hey, no problem. You just let me know how it goes.
There was for a good reason. For her brother who just got released from the mental institution, she's concerned that just in case.
I'm just saying you would never as like a partner, I would assume, to just be like, you're good. You got it. He's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you would be in the room. You would be like, hey, I'm just going to sit back here. I'm in the other room. You guys do your thing.
Like a supervised or some
she
type
might have said, I don't want you here.
Could be.
Don't come.
Very possible.
Because she knows that the mirror fucks with things. She doesn't want to have it affect him.
Sure.
Also, it's like she needs that outside precaution or variable or whatever you want to call it, lifeline of him calling. And if he's in the house, he can't call. And I don't know, she doesn't seem like she has any other friends or obviously family to rely on. So maybe that's the only person she would trust to do this.
I got as the brother is being like terrified and he's like, I am fucking freaking out. The sister is like,
when they were younger or present day?
When they were present day.
Okay.
And then the sister was like, let's press on. We must go on.
Right.
It's like he's clearly having like a fucking mental breakdown. And
which part? I'm trying to.
I'm saying as shit starts to go wrong in present day, they start to experience flashbacks. They start to realize that the thing that the brother is no longer like
when he thought he was outside, but he was actually inside.
And then he's like freaking out after that, and she's just like, we got to keep going. We got to keep doing this. It's just like, again, you see the effect that it's having. And again, now then at a certain point, they're like, now we have to go outside. It's too late. Now you're already wrapped up in it. You don't know what's real, what's not.
Well, they were over. She was at least confident, maybe overconfident that she could control the range or at least identify that of the mirror. Mm-hmm. Clearly, not so much.
Bobby, you got something?
Oh no, you've been hitting on a lot.
All right,
but one thing that I am saying is problem solved. Hold on. I'm going Mike Wazowski on this. Put that thing back. Or so help me.
That's pretty
honestly,
good.
Why even get yourself involved with something like this if it's attached to a traumatic, hell of a hit, traumatic experience and a traumatic event in your life? No offense, nope, stay away from it. And problem solved is, hey, all you whack nuts, cover the mirror with a cloth, get a huge tub of tannerite, and just be like, all right, I first one to hit this fridge full of tannerite where it's right next to this. Boom! Anything within a quarter-mile blast, sorry, ain't going to be existing, So I'm just saying there's a way of destroying this thing that it should be destroyed. Evil things should not be brought back up and inspected or reviewed. No, send it back to hell where, whence it came,
Well, then she was going to destroy it, but she wanted to prove
No, fuck that. First. No. Prove what? Prove what? That her family's already dead?
Again, it's the movie.
I get it. I'm just saying I don't like the concept. I don't like the idea of you trying to figure this out like what's the name from School Bus? Oh hey, let's investigate this. No,
you're talking about Miss Frizzle.
Miss Frizzle, yeah. You don't need to Miss Frizzle this. You need to chop this thing up into lumber and then send it to 4 corners of hell. That's it.
Right. I mean, again, that's the logical thing. Why does the mirror go so hard after the adults, but the kids seem relatively unaffected?
That's another good point. I guess more of a question.
It kind of like starts on the adults real hard.
I think a lot of it is just the proximity because the dad's in the office with it, so he's literally.
You think it's more of an exposure
in the room with it, and then the mom is vacuuming, and that's when she gets exposed.
Right. Okay, so maybe they just didn't spend. He did tell him stay the fuck out.
Maybe also children believe more things, and adults don't. So the kids can see what's happening and believe in it, whereas the adults are like, this is bullshit.
They could write it off or something,
Are they in the same house again?
Yes.
Exact same place? Okay.
They still own she still owned the house after her parents died, and when she became 18, she got it back, she said, and she was like, I was the only one in the freshman dorm with a mortgage payment.
Okay, I didn't
something
catch
like that.
This is hilarious. I was watching the movie last night with Christy, and she goes, as there's one shot of the kids on the top of the second story looking down at the dad, and they do an upshot, and she just was like, Kaylee's got a booger in her nose. And I was just like, oh, it does. Yeah, right there. Just a little, continuity error. You got to clean out the Batcave there.
Batcave.
There you go. There's your Theo Johnson. Did the mirror break at all, or because I thought that the mirror, the anvil came in at Kaylee's neck, which I thought it went through her. It just stopped at Kaylee. Yeah.
Just
her spine absorbed it, I guess.
Flesh,
absorbed.
Okay. They said the mirror finds a way to protect itself,
but not against the bullet that the dad got. His body flew back into it.
But that was like you said. It didn't. It was like a aftershock. It went through him. So I don't know.
Collateral damage, essentially.
Right.
You didn't. There wasn't.
It wasn't a direct aim at it. It was like, oh shit.
It happened to be.
And again, some of the things are mysterious. We don't know. It's like that's part of the mirror's appeal of the movie. Like you don't know all of it. You can suspect and oh shit.
That's not good for the Giants. Jackson Dart is down.
Is Jameis going to go in or Russell Wilson?
Jameis.
Please be Jameis. Please be Jameis.
Last 2-second one is he calls the police. He's like, police 724 blah 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 blah. No other info. No other what is happening. There's just no.
You're talking about the Timbo?
Yeah, Tim calling the police is just I need police at 428 blah blah blah. And then hangs up the phone. It's they're probably going to ask a couple questions and what's happening?
Right. The police are you like, oh, you're good.
Are you dying? They would have called back or something like that.
Well, that is the first picking it. I will agree. agree that I probably should.
I don't care if you agree. Picking it's
Agree.
The other ones were
Yeah.
easily explainable. I think
What
it's
do you-
like
easily
I
explainable.
think it's your preference, and you
Easily
don't like.
explainable, my ass.
Thank
I have
you.
a problem
Nothing
with
about
the,
this movie is explainable.
I have a problem with the horror genre in general.
Well, that's exactly
that-
right. You're
that-
biased against it.
That there is no logic in which shit is happening. Now, this movie.
This had so much logic, though.
Stop, man. No.
Yeah.
No, not to that, man. I'm saying this movie actually does have logic. There are not a lot of picky nits that I'm pointing on, other than the fact that the sister is being a shitty sister and subjecting the brother to that. Most other horror movies, though, I have a problem with like there's a really shitty noise going on in there. Let's investigate the Scooby-Doo paradox. Basically, that's the thing.
Scooby-Doo paradox.
That's the thing that I don't like about movies. This movie, again, though, in general, has like at least logic following, and then it also explains it by the mirror going like, I fuck with your mind. You think you're doing something and you're not. It explains all of that. I never had any issue with like, well, why didn't you get out of the house?
Right.
Why didn't you run away?
The character's logic and, for the most part, motivations
Yes.
make sense.
Absolutely.
It's
I
not
agree.
just random or dumb things, or like even like The Conjuring, like all this shit keeps happening in their house. Get the fuck out of the house.
Right.
But this is like, again, if you believe it or not, that's kind of the whole point. If you don't believe that Kaylee's will to prove her parents' innocence is enough, then you're not going to like the movie. But
I believe it.
At least there is a reason why she's doing this crazy shit, where she is so obsessed with this because of her parents' deaths, that I could see that being a thing. Like, obviously, like I said, normal life, like most people are like, I don't want to fuck with that. Why would I want to mess with that? Like you said, that my parents are already dead.
Right.
Why would I even? But,
What's the point of
then
proving the innocence?
There has to be some. With horror movies, you have to give a little bit of leeway where there has to be a reason why they're making this movie.
A lot of times, again, they just don't explain it. At least in this one, they explain like what she's trying. She's trying to vilify is the wrong word, but like she's trying to prove that her father was not the murderer, that it was painted in the pictures, and basically traumatize her for all of her life.
Exonerate was the word.
Exonerate.
Like there are way more and harsher examples in other horror movies of just dumb behavior and things.
Granted,
like even one of
yes.
the best ones, Nightmare on Elm Street. I just watched it the other day. There's a scene the cop tells his deputy, he's Johnny Depp just got murdered in the house by Freddy Krueger, and they live across the street from Nancy or whatever. He's like, if my daughter says anything and you see her acting crazy in any way, come get me. She's literally bangs the glass out of the front door, is yelling, get my dad, and the guy's like, you know what? Should I get her? I think I should get her.
Oh, that time, yeah.
And like, what the fuck do you think, man? Go fucking get her. Like, also, all these people are dying, and no one believes you that there's this thing. Well, the parents are like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, like, are more obvious. You know, I think as far as horror movies go, as far as logic.
I like the mind game that this movie creates in the sense that the believability or the concept of warped reality, warped perception could create these events, and like I said, self-preservation on this, artifact or this mirror that possesses like an evil fucking, curse to it. Yeah. So I like the concept,
and I do
really
like also with this movie that the score is good, but it's not. You're not relying on it necessarily for like the jump scares, where every time there's a big crashing noise, ding, and then there's like the scare.
Right. Okay,
like,
fair enough. I could give you
throughout
that.
the entire movie, so like you don't know when the scare's coming, you know, and it might be subtle, it might be big, you don't.
All right.
But any other
hell of a
nits you
review?
guys
This
have?
is good. Yeah.
I got no other picking nits. We're good
Bobby,
to go.
any picking nits?
No, like I said, you got to be open to this type of movie, this concept, this idea in order for you to enjoy it. Now, not to say that I was completely open to this, like I said, I just had my own reservations, but we'll get to it in our final, review.
Okay. I just had one more question, I guess. Not picking it, again, more of a question. They might have said it, I didn't catch it. How did the family get the mirror originally?
I thought the father
like
ordered
an antique something,
the mom mentions
they do mention this backstory. I just can't remember it.
Okay, because I was like thinking, I'm like, so they're moving into their new house, but they've never seen this mirror. It wasn't the mirror in the old house, but I guess he just ordered it for his office.
Right.
So okay, never mind. All right, let's give our final stream skip and a grade.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go stream. again, honestly, this is at least a borderline of me like thinking about like this would be something that I own because again, I enjoy the again not like it's not such in the horror camp. It's more like you said, psychological, supernatural
I think it's
thriller.
good storytelling still.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say the stream, and then with a rating, I'd probably go an 8.1.
Wow. All
yeah,
right.
I'd probably go an 8.1.
Oh, shit.
Wow,
I will say, like in terms of like
his pigginess.
horror movies in general, like now. They are. I do want to kind of give them a chance and revisit some of them that I was like, I hate this or whatever. It's like terrible. I fucking hate. Honestly, it probably was due to a lot to just being like, I'm writing the movie off before I even give it a chance because I was 12 and like, I don't want to fucking see Freddy Krueger. Fuck that. Stuff like that.
understand.
I used to be like that too. Yeah.
I'd probably give another chance to a couple other, movies that again were having such a. They're regarded as great horror movies, but I just kind of simply wrote them off.
If you enjoy this and Mike Flanagan, I'd recommend watching The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix and Midnight Mass, also by him.
Sure.
Midnight Mass.
Good story and suspension, and again,
Sure.
good use of different timelines telling one story.
Okay.
It's similar to Oculus in that manner. So,
Okay.
Bobby.
Haunting of. I thought is he part of Bly Manor?
Yes,
too, the other
I didn't
one?
like that one as much though.
No, Hill House. Obviously, I think was the better of the two. Anywho, I would say stream this. This is available on YouTube with ads. So for all of our viewers out there, you could go check it out
and
on
it's
YouTube.
on Prime too, I think also.
Oh, okay.
YouTube for
Prime.
free with ads though. Yes.
Prime, but for me, this comes in at a 7.8. The reason being is it just I wasn't 100% open to the concept of a cursed object, and I like I said, I can understand the passion behind the daughter's, way of trying to prove something, but at the same token, like I said, it defies logic, and it kind of, and I'm going to piggyback on this, and I know I'm going to get shit on it. It's a whole Inception, but in a different mode. No. Oh, is this a reality? No, wait, this can't be the reality. I got to spin a top. It's like, I don't like the whole delving into what could possibly be real. I guess in the same concept, you could say the Freddy Krueger,
So you don't,
Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just like,
so you don't like Fight Club?
no, Fight Club is actually someone who is bipolar and has, that's a medical thing.
I say this with all due respect.
Oh my God.
What the fuck are you talking about? How in the fuck are you how are you comparing Inception to this movie?
So
other than the fact that the mirror is just simply like you don't know a little bit what's real and what's not. Inception is completely about like
so at the end, do you know
dreaming
what's real or what's not?
Yes, we already talked about it.
I feel like
We
this
did
would
the
be more
fucking
compared to like
3 hour.
Shutter Island, like you said before, where it's like
That one makes
is
a
he-
little iota.
I'm
of
saying
is
sense.
the woman
along
in
the
the
parallels.
cave? Is she there?
Okay, I'm saying along the parallels of you have to buy into this idea that a reality exists and one does not. Right?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Like, and I
guess.
guess Shutter Island, a reality exists and one does not, and you have to make that determination. Like, I'm a big fan, but for me, it's like one of those books. Like, choose your, next adventure. Go to page 38, or go. It's just for me. It's just I'm not a big fan of that concept. It's just it's not that I didn't like the direction of this. I thought that there was a lot of good points. I thought it was very scary and graphic where it needed to be without being the whole gore the gore flick where it's just murder and blood everywhere. So I enjoyed the kind of like the teasing it went on throughout this film. It wasn't for me, and that's just my own personal take. So 7.8. I still thought that there was a lot of redeeming qualities. It just I have a hard time grasping the underlying concept.
I love it. I like that you don't know what it is and what you do and what's real and what's not, and it keeps you on your toes. And it's not just jump scares just to do it. It's like playing with your, like your perception. And I think if done right, which I think in this case it was, I think it works. This is one of my favorite, honestly. Like if we're talking like I've talked about it before, but like horror is a very vast there's many genres within horror.
Oh, yeah,
there's like if you were turning like a dial, there's like you can go like 1 to 10 on purity or scariness, or like depending on what you like. There's something, there's slashers, more ones about gore. There's more ones about like this one, like entities, and there's more or ones that blend genres, like Alien, where it's sci-fi and horror, Terminator, but it's or like The Thing, where there's like different. This is more of kind of like I think more of like a pure horror in a sense. I think, and one of my more favorite ones of that type. So I enjoy it. I do own it. For me, it's an own. But again, I don't think I'm not offended. You said stream or anything. If you don't like horror, obviously.
No, I think this is definitely stream worthy. It just you got to be open to this concept, and I have a hard time grasping it. So it's more of a personal.
For me personally, I love
take.
Mike Flanagan. Love this movie.
I love his movie.
And
Sinister was incredible.
This is he didn't do Sinister. That was Scott.
Oh, Blumhouse.
Derrickson.
Sorry, Blumhouse Productions did. Sorry.
But I give it an 8.5.
Okay.
I think if we're just talking on like a horror movie scale, I might move it a little higher, but I'm trying to compare it to all movies.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go 8.5. And I definitely would, if you want to check it out, like you said, it's on YouTube for free. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes or so.
Good flick.
It's out for
Try
you.
getting if you're like Woj, where you're kind of not into horror movies so much, maybe this will make you change your mind a little bit and make you check more things out if you like it, like he seems to have come to. So.
It's a good flick.
Yeah.
All right, and we got Bobby on deck here, and we're gonna go with I think a fan favorite. This is a '80s classic, Beetlejuice, the original,
nice.
Not Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Alec Baldwin, and Gina Davis. That's the one. So that's on our October Halloween selection for next pod.
Hell yeah!
Awesome.
All right, send us home.
All right, so that was the Journeymen Lounge podcast, episode 106.
Six, part two.
Part 2. Shout out to, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Could you give me the name?
Charlie McWade.
Charlie McWade for responding back and forth with us and engaging.
Yeah,
and,
appreciate it.
Being part of the experience. I think that's really cool that you did that.
He does a lot of horror movies too as part of his Instagram.
I think that his short film was really good, and I would like to. If he has more, I'd like to see it. So check his stuff out. Please continue to check our stuff out. Let us know what you like, if you like our new part 1, part 2 format, or you want something different. Comment anything really.
Yeah,
we're open to hear your stuff. And
hell yeah,
we appreciate all you people watching and listening. And stay tuned for next week 107 when we come back. And I can't wait.
Alrighty, perfect.
Adios.
Adios.
Muchachos and muchachas.